welcome to my channel. This is Hugo Correa and I hope you're doing well. If you are ready to change that old toilet in your house or business for something that looks a little more cleaner, a little more stylish, well, it's time for us to do this video, this step-by-step video that will give you these nice tricks and points that are important. We're going to work with a color toilet. This one is a handicap height, so it's a little bit higher than normal and is elongated as well, so it's really comfortable to use. And we want to go ahead and install it in a bathroom that I remodel. So we have a flat, straight surface. We have a new flange on the floor. But if you have an issue with your flanges, the toilet flange is broken or old or non-existent, don't be frustrated because there are different products out there that can actually work for your situation, right? So you can put it on top and you will be able to install your toilet nice and secure to the floor. So let's continue with our project over here in this nice beautiful surface, nice and straight. But again, don't be frustrated because you can find many ways to finish your toilet nicely. Carefully place the toilet bowl on the floor. Make sure that you actually look for the height that you need. Don't put too much pressure because you can actually break those toilet bowls. But go ahead and try your wash gasket. Make sure that is the height that you need. In this case, we are above the surface of the tile, so it's comfortable. It's fine. That's what it's meant for. But if you need an extension, that's actually the extension that is there. Now we want to go ahead and install the bolts, and those bolts that you're gonna see come with a little rubber. Actually a plastic washer, and these washers will help you to maintain those bolts nice and straight. They will give you a little more stability in the bolts, and that comes handy when you are actually placing the toilet bowl on the surface, right? So sometimes what happens in this case is that with this type of wash gasket, the gasket has the wax on the bottom, but you align it really well, and some companies provide their own wash gasket. This is only for smells, not for water, but sometimes they're really flimsy and they're not good. Sometimes they recommended to put it on the bottom of your toilet bowl, and it's okay as well. That's the instruction of some of them, but in this case we're going to do it the way this company is asking to do it. And so we want to go ahead and align that. Don't be frustrated, be careful. You need to have a lot of patience when you put in these little bolts. Make sure that they are the right height. You don't want them to be too low because it's going to be really hard for you to screw these things down and put the rest of the little parts that you need to put on. So because I know that I have a flat surface on the bottom, a flat floor, I'm putting pressure so I can actually bring the wash gasket down. This project was made in a colder temperature season, and obviously you want to go ahead and just put some pressure on it, and what a better way than just sitting down on top of it. And now that you know that the bolts are exposed, you want to go ahead and put those bolts in the proper way. So you're going to have a little white washer that is going to hold the cap on place. That will go first. Then you have a little metallic washer that goes on top of it, and then the nut. So once you have those three pieces, you can actually put the caps that you see in my other hand. They will go and they snap in really cool. So you just want to make sure that you cut the excess amount of the bolt that is coming out there. I'll show you in a moment. But you want to go ahead and start putting pressure, and don't especially in this type of work, don't put too much pressure in only one nut, because you will end up breaking your toilet base. And believe me that I've seen that before. It didn't happen to me, but I've seen people that just put a lot of pressure and they think that because it's nice and flush on one side, then you want to go ahead and put a lot of pressure on the other side, and you end up breaking that because it's maybe in a convex floor, and that makes that surface puts a lot of pressure on it. So you want to make sure that you align it really well. And if the toilet bowl is not nice and straight, you want to go ahead and put these little shims. These shims will help you to kind of level your toilet and avoid that frustration. And just don't put too much pressure on the screws because you can break them. And if it's not completely solid on the floor, you want to go ahead and put silicone laid around. So we have the toilet tank with three nuts over here, but you're gonna have sometimes tanks that have 2 bolts or 3 bolts and 2 holes or whatever. You want to make sure you follow that instruction. In this case, having those 3 bolts to secure it to the base is really convenient because it gives you a little extra level of support, and you can actually graduate those stuff in order for you to make it nice and straight and level. So that gives you that opportunity. Now, when you're doing this, you want to make remember that you have a rubber seal on the bottom between those things. So by just putting a little bit of pressure with your hand in the beginning, you can actually screw those things manually. You don't need a tool at the beginning, so don't be frustrated. You can actually put a lot of pressure as you put pressure on one side. You screw it a little bit with your hand, and then on your fingers, and then you go to the other side, do the same thing, go to the back, do the same thing, and make sure that you can actually cover those things before you need to use any type of plier to, adjustable plier to be able to fasten that completely. There are different small tools that you can actually buy for this if you want to work this, for your profession as a everyday profession. So it will be a little easier for you. But in this case, I'm using these pliers. I'm going to put a link so you can use these plumber's pliers. Are really good. I use them all the time for different projects. So you want to make sure that it's nice and straight and level. Double check that that is aligned completely. Sometimes you just miss that alignment, and when you flush, the water comes out. So you want to make sure that you put enough pressure. Don't break the toilet bowl, obviously, because by putting a lot of pressure you will break it. So go ahead and use a little plumber's hacksaw. Don't use grinders, because the grinders will leave you marks. The little sparks that come out actually burn the ceramic, and that's it. You will be done right there, because it won't be, that thing will stain there permanently. So go ahead and cut that stuff almost all the way, and then just snap the little section. Go ahead and clean it with a dry rag and install your cap. That cap, because that little lip is facing up, it will actually snap in really well, and you just need a screwdriver to just kind of pop it out later on. So that's the part of the cap. Now we want to continue with the water for the tank. So you want to go ahead, in this case, these hoses actually come with a only hand tied nut, and this will help you a lot, because if you put a lot of pressure, you end up moving the parts inside the tank. And on the bottom, you wanna, if you have something too close, it's better for you to get a hose that is just a little bigger, and just curve it a little bit like a pigtail, so it won't kind of pinch on you, it won't cank on you. So the water will flow really really well. And just go ahead and fasten it really well. Hold the hose, because the hose will start spinning. You don't want it to undo that nice turn that you gave to the hose, but you want to go ahead and just tie it really well. Make sure that everything is clear and is nice, and continue with the installation of your toilet seat. Now the toilet seat, obviously there are plenty of them. This one is elongated because our toilet bowl is elongated, and it comes with different parts. These parts are some supports, little bumpers on the bottom, and the two plastic nuts that are really cool features, because they actually they can go in by hand, and then you just need to screw them just a little bit at the end. So go ahead and put those little bumpers on the seat itself. They just kind of snap in again. They don't need to have any type of silicone or whatever. They are designed to kind of be squeezed into the cavity right there, and it's fine. So align your toilet seat with the holes that you have over there. These little caps are always there, so you just kind of bring them down at the end. And that little nut that you see there, it goes underneath with a little butterfly holder that you can actually maneuver that thing from there. So you just kind of hold that, press it in, and it actually saves you dozens of turns with your screwdriver. So it's a really cool feature. It's a really cool nut. And go ahead and just don't tie too much, because obviously you want to align the toilet seat first. Install the other nut before you finally do the final I would say pressure on the nut. And then once you realize that is secure enough, that is not moving, you go ahead and just bring those little caps down and cover those screws, and that part is ready. The cool thing about this seat is actually has some sort of a cushioning method, so it won't you just kind of won't come down immediately when a snap motion or noise that is kind of annoying sometimes when that happens. So it's a really cool cool feature. You can actually buy the one that you like, but in this case, this one comes with the company. Now it's time for you to open that water, connect the little hose. That little hose is the one that actually brings clean water into the bowl to kind of rinse the bowl as you using the toilet, right? So that is an important thing to remember to keep there. Go ahead and try those mechanisms. Believe it or not, sometimes they come with some sort of defects from the manufacturer, so don't get frustrated. You need to probably call them or something, but in this case, in most of the cases, they work fine. Now that you know that everything is filling up to the right height, go ahead and cover it, and it's time for you to do that extra little something on the bottom. This is 100% silicone. It's clear in this case. Some people use white silicone, or some people use actually grout on the bottom just to kind of seal that part. In my case, I find that adding silicone is really practical because it helps you to maintain the area underneath clean, because no bugs are going to come in or out. Sometimes you have little crevices on the floor, and that happens. And the other thing is that it gives you a really strong bond to the surface, and your toilet bowl will be secured properly, so it won't move around. Sometimes you see these toilets that look like a desk chair, and those are not that nice. They kind of rock, and you don't you don't want that in your toilet, right? So you want to go ahead and prepare the stuff, clean it really well, and let it dry for a couple of hours, and then your toilet will be ready to be used. And this is how you install toilets. And I'm so happy that we can actually do this video and go step by step with it. You made it to the end of the video. I'm really happy about it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little notification bell, and see more of those videos that I'm going to put around, and stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you soon.